welcome guys, this is Mitchy Hoyer and welcome to our public community release party of the brand new rFactor 2 Endurance Bundle 2. With the new cards being released, that is the Ligier, the DPi and the Corvette. We are going to explore all three of them tonight in a session around Spa. And we're also going to go and explore Spa from all kind of aspects, which means we will have a look into it in terms of rain, in terms of day-night circle. I have actually done a lot of things towards this. So I have set up 60 times time scale, so 1 minute is 1 hour in the game, and I have set the second part of the practice session into rain. So yeah, you guys will see a lot of features that rFactor 2 got to offer, and we're now just loading into the server. For those of you interested in joining us, you guys are allowed to do so. You will find the server called Enduro Bundle Release Party, and the password is new DLC. And then you guys will pretty sure enjoy the stuff that we do. We're gonna join as a driver here, and we're gonna join in the Cadillac first. So the Cadillac is one of the 3 new cars that has been released on the Enduro bundle. The Cadillac DPi is a DPi class and the hypercar cars as well. That explains the hypercar category, which I'm going to join with first, grants a lot more speed because there is a lot more power on the engine. You got a 7th gear in the hypercar. And the DPi class has a restrictor on the engine and doesn't have the 7th gear. Yet the rest of it is absolutely the same. And we're going to look at this more closely. We're also going to have a look at the other cars. And if you guys are interested in joining us, feel free to do so. We're live on rFactor 2 on the server. Password to the server is new DLC. Everything written together in small letters. And the name is Enduro Bundle Release Party. So good evening I'm already saying hello everyone, and hello to all of you guys. Merry Christmas to you, of course. It's the Holy Eve already, and well, what shall I say? rFactor 2 Santa's came early, so we now have new content to test with. We have a new UI. I already did the first competition system race, and if you want to find out about the competition system itself, 16/15, the video will go live. It's recorded already, it's up on YouTube already, and will be released on 16/15 tonight. The reason why this takes a little longer as we load into the server is because I have upgraded the graphics, and we're going to see how this looks like today. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thanks for joining. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys on the server as well. Gonna look forward to it. We're gonna first explore a little bit in the setup options. It's not gonna be a too lot awful of driving. We're gonna check what you can set, what you can do as a setup option on the new DPi. Sorry, on the new Cadillac hypercar. It's actually both. The hypercar is obviously a lot stronger than a DPi class, but I think it's still a separate class, somewhere between LMP1 and LMP2. Yes, we're also gonna test the C8.R later on, the new Corvette. Mizar, thank you very much indeed. Merry Christmas to you as well. Actually gonna grab a pen and take some notes, because there is a new dial I'm trying to use as well. So, in the meanwhile, 75% of the track have been loaded. We are probably going to be live for the next 2 hours. Transport Pup, have you checked Enduro Bundle Release Party? Everything together. Enduro Bundle written together. Wait, I'm gonna just type in the name. Enduro Bundle Release Party. That's the name you should look for. You will also see the name here on the top in a couple of seconds, potentially, hopefully. As the screen now turned black, it's always a bit meh. But due to the fact I still can see the rFactor 2 mouse. I hope we're gonna be on the server in a couple of seconds. As I said, the new UI also, yeah, a new venture in rFactor 2's new direction, I want to say. So now on the server, loading the cars. That will take a little bit. Ellen, how's the Cadillac? We're gonna check this right there. I have suggested, or I have chosen the hypercar class. So has Thomas Garcia, so has Jan von der Heide, and we're now going to test this. But first, bear with me. Right, here we go. So we're already in the night. That is what I said about this special server. Is set up that 1 hour takes 1 minute. Anyway, fuel. I'm just gonna take 100% fuel load and see what the car can do with this. It's 69 liters. It's not that much. As I said, the hypercar version got a 7th gear, which we're going to use here as well. I expect roughly 320 we're gonna do on the straights. Tires, standard rFactor 2 tires, so we just put minimum pressure, that is 155 kPa here. Brakes, gonna improve the maximum pedal force and reduce the brake duct planking, otherwise the brakes are gonna fade away. On the chassis, not too much we are going to do. We have we have a gurney flap, taking that to, I'd say, mid downforce right now. Gonna adjust the wheel lock range. Then you have front bumper steer, roll center, and anti-squat. I'll just keep that standard, and I'm gonna put all the way to the back. That's what I'm gonna do. On the suspension, you have, I think, 40 possible settings on the dampers, so there is a lot of stuff you can do on this car. Spring rates, it's pretty soft at the front, just gonna stiffen that up a bit compared to the rear. And anything else, I just leave it for right now. Wing, oh, there is a P2 wing missing. Weird. I'm just gonna put it P3 so that I don't die. Merry Christmas to you, Ricardo. Thanks for being here in the chat, though. Okay, and then I'd say we turn our headlights on, and then we're out in the hypercar. The bad news for everyone, we have I need to set up that UI to be. It's just weird to see everything so in the centered. I need that ultra wide UI again in order to feel goody, but I'm gonna change that another time. For now, I'm just gonna use this, and we'll check out how this new hypercar is working. shiny lights here at Spa. Kind of like the sound, not like in the Senna, which I do not like too much. Oh, what is that? Look at that, a shiny Corvette. The new Corvette GTE car on rFactor 2. Gonna test that later. So we currently got, I'm not sure if you can see this. Probably not because my camera nearly did. Oh, that was a bad rejoin. I'm sorry. Nearly killed another hypercar there. But I wanted to get into this one. So it's 2:30, 2:40 AM. 4 minutes and it will light up again. Merry Christmas to you as well, Pajek. Thank you for joining and welcome. Alan. Yes, it looks like it from the first point of view. That said, we haven't got a good setup just yet. And I gotta say I have a bad seating position. But what we've seen... Have you seen the glowing of the front brake disc of the car ahead? Maybe we see it as in turn in into turn 1. Yes, the front discs are glowing quite a bit here. Car is pretty stiff in the back, so maybe that is the only thing that needs fixing. Hey there, Simeon. Nearly lost it there in Eau Rouge. This car isn't really handy to drive right now. I'm gonna check some things on the setup, but first we're gonna have a look into a replay mode of let's see whether we can find the glowing discs. Graphically, I have to say, there you go. This looks pretty awesome. Wow, look at that glowing discs. Honestly, rFactor 2 in that, and that's not yet maximum settings. I ran with some kind of 80% style in order to still have a decent FPS rate for the stream. Okay, so we're quickly gonna check on tires. This new setup screen is a bit weird to access, to be honest. Just gonna do low downforce on the dive plane, so maybe that's an issue. And on the suspension, I'm gonna stiffen the front. Okay, that's maximum stiffness. And I soften the rear a bit, and just add some packers so that it doesn't bottom out too much. And I think then we should be kinda okay stability wise already. That's what I expect or hope. You will see. So if you guys want to join, Enduro Bundle Release Party is the server name. Enduro Bundle being written together, just the best thing you can do is search for Enduro. Then you find that the password is new DLC, everything written in small letters and everything written together. Currently 7 guys here on the server. I appreciate their support and I appreciate them being here. Leaving pit road for the next time. 6 AM in the morning on the server right now. It's gonna be soon light up. We get daylight. You can already see the dusk, the dawn coming there at the front. So it's gonna be lighting up pretty, yeah, way too quickly in order to get a good transmission. Because 1 second is 1 minute right here on the server. So with low downforce, gurney flaps at the front, the car has a bit better balance indeed. Lol Arcturus, never heard that. So I'm just gonna do a lap in the hypercar class and save the setup, and then I'm gonna do a lap in the same car with the DPi configuration, so that we see the difference. Oh no! What do we see on the windscreen? Yes! So wipers on, please. There you go. Rain has just started, so that kind of throws away our idea of checking performances of the car with each other. There's still a slidey bitch there, excuse the language. Yes, I think even more. Not sure if it's 900. I will need to check it up. But first, I'ma do some rain driving. Yeah, you better not do some rain driving. Oh, I wanted to see the top speed of this car. The track is still somewhat dry though. We have just 1% of rain. Hey there Gonzo, how you doing? I am not entirely sure how much rain there will be coming, but as a matter of fact, for right now, server will get wet, track will get wet, rain is still increasing, and I think still will increase in the future. To which strength, I don't know. I've set it to a 75% rain chance in the second fifth of the session, which has now just begun. First 20 minutes are done. I think Cars Copper, this new DLC we were gonna find out altogether, but the hypercar, the Cadillac hypercar, I somewhat like it. It got nice sound, of course it is a drift slide in this car, like we know it from rFactor 2. But compared to the McLaren Senna, it seems actually having brakes.
That was a 2:07.18.
Yeah, you need a proper setup though. We did not die in a rouge this time. Dirty airs, maybe a huge factor here. We like the unloaded yellow car. Yeah, it's gonna be fixed as soon as we go box. There is a lot of downforce and grip on the car though. Like, you know, proper hypercar in that regard. And soon we also should see the spray. We are now reaching F. So loading all the cars right now. We're now reaching 17-18% of wetness. So that's also the point where the slick tires are now about to die. Gonzo, the new competition system is somewhat online. It still has issues. Remember, this is all still beta. On 16/15 today, I will release a video on the YouTube channel that digs a bit deeper and digs a bit into this new competition system. I will do another competition system race as well. That may be 5 PM today, and that's gonna do it before Christmas then. Oh, this is awesome fun though. Oh, I still go for another one. And then I'm gonna pull out the Ligier.
That was a 2:15.09.
Yep, Victor, it is. And do you want it to leave beta session or beta status at some point? Ah, damn it. Gonna check the rain tires now and see what options you got. Yes, Filippo, public server. It's called Enduro Bundle Release Party, with Enduro Bundle being written together. Enduro Bundle Release Party. Sorry for the Ö. Miss out that Ö. And new DLC is the password. So join us, guys. Okay, medium, that's actually intermediates and rain tires. I'm gonna put the heavy rain tires straight away. And also gonna move to my beloved seat position. So again, remember, the Cadillac DPi car can be used in a hypercar class. We're currently on the hypercar class configuration. That means you have a 7th gear and you have more engine power, but the chassis is the same. And then you can also drive the Cadillac as in DPi. DPi is our own class, is our own configuration, just has 6 gear, so 1 gear less compared to the hypercar configuration. And it has restricted engine power. I'm not going to go too deep into this, just turn another laps here on the server while it's still getting rainy, and then we will move on to see how the LMP2 car, the Ligier JSP 217, is performing compared to the Oreca 07. No Lexa, the car is extremely loose on the rear. We're close in standard setup though. I have reduced the wings a lot. Already took away or configured the front as being the low downforce, but still the default setup is very twitchy on the back end, and this needs a lot of fixing. But you know, I'm just gonna do some minor clicks on it right now so I can drive a lap with it. Probably the car is too heavy. Like it as soon as it starts raining, I feel it loses a lot more performance compared to the dry. Actually, I believe that the DPi has less aerodynamical performance than an LMP2 car. That's quite frankly how it feels. So the rain should end soon again, giving us a dry line. I'm very sure that the LMP2 car, both the Orica and the Ligier, will be a lot better in those conditions. I mean, remember that this DPi is still default setup. Okay, actually enough of this. Gonna quickly talk about the car a little while watching it for a brief moment. So I let me see if I can put down laps at some point. I'm just gonna put back a little bit on the replay tape. So you see the hypercar here. What I also see is that we're dropping frames a bit. I'm sorry. Probably because now it's showing the overlay twice. Let me see if I can put that away here. Noise. So that is the new hypercar, the new Cadillac DPi. You see glowing brake discs. It is extremely twitchy on the rear, but I believe it's going to be a very fun car to drive. We're going to see this a lot more often in the future, that's for sure. Also the sound of it's just, I like it. Can't help it. I like it pretty much. So I think in the meanwhile Jan von der Heide is already going into the LMP2 class, because that is the blue badge on the timing tower. And I gotta say, Spa looks so nice when you look at the rain, when you look at the overall track from a TV cam point here. Cars Copper, I'm going to try the new LMP2 car just right now, just in 5-6 minutes. Would I recommend this car? I cannot 100% say yes or no yet. It is evident. That was just me pressing the button of updating the cars, please. It is evident that it slides a lot. It needs a lot of setup work. It probably also needs some hot fixes on physics. Just guessing. But I can see this car being very enjoyable to drive and actually featuring good racing, depending on how it goes in dirty air, but that would need further testing. And then I would recommend using it for another reason, which is the fact that rFactor 2 deserves it to be used and deserves the work that's been put into the car, been taken into consideration and been taken into account by the drivers, and therefore I really hope that people are going to buy it and help them to develop the series further. So revert, share, setups. I can't probably select the car anymore in game, is it? Save real road, no voting. drivers, add AI, no. Yeah, I think I would need to rejoin with the LMP2 car. So I'm gonna do that. Hello, Rockbrod, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Okay, quickly then, unless someone can tell me if I can. No, I don't think I can change the car mid-session, so I'm just gonna quickly exit out of it and come back with the LMP2 car. So here we are already joining our server. As you can see, Enduro Bundle release party, 10 people on there right now. I think I want to change the car first into the Ligier. Which livery I'm going to check. I'm going to take... I'll just take the first one, whatever. Select. So we're now in the Ligier. And I am going to be very interested to see how this car will drive. Remember, we do have an existing LMP2 car already, the Oreca 07, which now enters after 4 years' time, or after 3 years' time, the zone where the LMP2s needs to be BOP'd as well. That BOP hasn't been the strongest feature of rFactor 2. We don't need to mention that. We can currently see that in the GT3 area. But I'm going to look forward to see how this will drive on the Spa server. Regardless though, the LMP2, what do I expect from it? I expect it to drive not very different compared to the Oreca. And I expect it to be quite similar in terms of setup as well. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to look at. How it is to be set up as. In the meanwhile, while we come back on our server, we should get into night time there again. So car still loading in. Setup, gonna have a look at this first. Fuel and strategy, it's maximum already. Gears, so it actually carries less fuel than the LMP2. No, it's not. It was just a bug. So 75 liters, same amount of fuel than the LMP2 Oreca. Same with the gearbox. You got low speed, you got high speed, and you got a Le Mans gearbox. So I'm just gonna use whatever we used on the LMP2 Oreca car. I need to actually be quite careful with saying stuff. So tire pressure is minimum. Brakes, I just can leave that unless this is an artificial. Nope, it's no artificial value. Chassis. There are no dive planes. There's actually nothing you can set here apart from the steering. So it's the very same than in the Oreca. What it's different though, the Oreca has a lot less setting possibilities on the dampers. And that will be interesting to see how this will convert into into the racing. Also on the spring rates, it got smaller steps at the rear and smaller steps at the front. In general, more options on the suspension. Packers, it got a central packer, and it got outer packers. Oh no, that is not central, it's the third spring. So just gonna adjust the right height a little bit. That's gonna be goodie. Rear wing, I'm just gonna put P1. Front splitter, nothing you can change there. So it is in the core setup possibilities identical to the Oreca, but it is different in the suspension area, as there is more possibility to set with, damn it, forgot the rain tires. I'm gonna try into mediums here. It is different in the suspension area though, as having more possibility to set on the dampers. However, the most significant change is it is a right-hand drive car, and that absolutely kills it for me. I'm not sure, but as soon as I'm sitting in a right-hand drive car, I've been completely caught off guard. So that is something to get used to, that's for sure. In the meanwhile, you can see it has stopped raining again, yet though the water should still remain. And I think for me it's still loading the real road. Having said all that, there is the rain, or oops, not the rain, the spray from the other cars. Having said all that, what does this car sound like? Yes, it sounds like the Oreca 1-to-1. And probably it got the same engine. As also the steering wheel says Cosworth. Yeah, so it's unsurprising that this engine is the same. So what we got behind us there, I'm not sure if that's a Ligier or a DPi. What I can already tell you is that this LMP2 is another drift car. So it drives very, very similar to the existing Oreca LMP2. Through that rock, and you can see that pretty well with the chassis having, whoops, damn it, having more possibilities to set on the dampers and on the overall suspension settings, so that is a major difference. And then aero kit wise, I haven't spotted the differences yet. I still believe that both cars are actually quite identical. Probably the wrong, I got the wrong upgrade on it. Probably got a lot of dive planes at the front, hence why the car's oversteering so bad. Something else that is really weird after loading into the game, again, the track looks dry while it's wet. I mean, I can feel it is wet, and I can see the spray from other cars. But the texture for me looks dry. Yep, Frankie, the competition system has started in beta version, which means it is still lots of bugs in it. It still needs fixing of things, it still needs works on it, and it still needs guys like you and me to test it, drive it, and give rFactor 2 the real world data that it needs in order to get the competition system going. You will see the first episode of competition system on my channel 16/15. I'm gonna release a video about the first race that I did in the competition system, and then you can make up your mind yourself how you like it. Once again, that said, it is all still in beta condition, and we will have another live stream on it short before 5 PM. We're going to be live with another competition race And if you're interested in getting into the competition system, fire up your rFactor 2, go into the race section and sign up on the Tattoos Winter Series. Tattoos FT60, 7 venues: Portland, Botnering, Silverstone, Sandford, Loch Dermond, and what is the other track I'm missing? I'm missing one track. Anyway, we're gonna have 7 different venues, 3 days per venue. So Portland is from today till the 26th, and we have Sandford from 27th till 29th of December.
The lap was a 2:20.98.
The rest of the races will be done until the 16th of January. Anyway, we're now focusing back on the LMP2. Christie's Shout, thank you very much for your follow on the Twitch system. Appreciate your support. The Ligier differences: right hand side drive compared to the left hand side drive on the Oreca 07. Different chassis, more options to set on on the dampers, and more options to set, and more delicate options to set, and more fine tuning possible on the spring rates from the first look. I think that are the most excessive changes, or the most excessive differences. What is similar? Engines, tires. We have a different aero kit apparently, so a little different aerodynamical data, which brings up the need of an LMP2 balance of performance, which we soon probably will get, or we'll find out how good it is. Dibuska, hey there. So that is what I would say about the LMP2 car. How does it drive? Honestly, it feels being in general a little softer. Like when you hit them curbs, it still gets shaken violently, and you feel in the wheel that the car itself is pretty rigid. But I'd say the overall chassis and the overall suspension of the Oreca 07 is more rigid, and it's hurting more if you... Damn it. And it's hurting more if you hit a curb with the Oreca than with a Ligier. That's for sure. And I think that is the biggest differences. So it is still quite heavy and quite rigid when you hit the curbs there. But again, I believe it is a tad softer than the Oreca, which maybe makes it a little bit more forgiving. How does it compare in the long run? I have no idea yet. I'm not sure how it works on the tires. I'm not sure how it attacks the tires. We will have to find out soon. But for now, I can tell you, it is a pretty... It feels... Shit. While saying that, just did. Yeah, should have not put the rain on the server. Let's see if the heavyweights are better. And actually put a bit of rear wing, because otherwise it's undrivable. Trying to find back to the point. Yes, I mean it is an LMP2 car, what else do you expect? They need to feel quite similar. From a first point of view, from a first feel, it's hard to say for me. We've done hours and millions of laps in the races with an LMP2 Oreca. Now just sitting in the Ligier and saying, oh, this is not going to be as quick as the Oreca is probably just wrong. We'll have to see how the BOP really pans out, and I hope we're gonna soon have a competition with it in the new year so that we can find out on the differences. Whether that will be fair or not fair is on a different topic, but as I said, with a LMP2 car now joining the Oreca, we will need a balance of performance, full stop, however that may look like in the end. So Rockborg, you had an So that means there will be online competition system instead of racing in leagues. No, that's not going to be the case. Apparently, and now let's have a look if the LMP2 is better than the hypercar, aerodynamical wise. Which quite seems the case. I'm running away from that Cadillac in the back. Here in the corners. The rFactor 2 competition system will not replace leagues. In fact, the competition system even tries to find a way to include the league activities into the competition system itself. How this will work, I don't know yet. If that will be done for every league, I don't know either. But I have read about the fact that rFactor 2 mainly lives from the current leagues using it, so they want to include them. And this is impressive. So the LMP2 car definitely better on the aerodynamic than the hypercar or the DPi. But now the DPi is closing in because more power. By the way, heavyweights, goodie decision. Yep, Mikhail, the next competition race is actually 2 hours 15 from now. There is a competition qualifying. I'm not sure if that goes into any way. So, what is coming next? We now get overtaken by that hypercar. You love the Ligier, Rock? Yeah, LMP2 car, or the Ligier, feels very similar to the Oreca. As I said, I think it is softer in the overall suspension geometry. I think the Oreca is shaking a lot more violently when hitting the curbs or hitting bumps. The Ligier therefore is, I would say, a little bit more controlled to drive, a little bit more happy on the road, as it's not shaking as violently and stuff. The Mooch TTV, thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it, man. Oh, that will not count. Okay, let's do at least one Woody Lappy with the LMP2 car. I'm not sure why the track, I'm not sure if the track is actually wet or looks dry. Well, there's probably no dry line yet. But you see, for those of you that have seen the 3 hours invitational of Spa, the way the LMP2 Oreca was being set up or upset when you gone over the curbs in Eau Rouge, that is definitely not the case with the Ligier. Same for the Lecombe's curb, and let's see how the steep ones are. As I said, a lot softer, less bouncy. probably a bit easier to drive, and remember we're still on a kind of baseline setup, so not yet even 100% fiddled in. But this car takes the curbs a lot easier. But on the other hand, it is interesting how quickly this car becomes unbalanced. Like now it already starts sliding around, which is definitely not as the same way as the LMP2 car, the Ore car. Rockbrot, it's not only going to have the Ligier from now on, it's also going to have a competition system that compares to iRacing, where you can get into
The lap was a
race a few times a day.
2:17.89.
So let's get again overtaken by the hypercar on Camel Straight and try to follow it, and that's gonna be probably one of the last things I'm gonna do. What servo I'm using right now? I'm using an OSW 20 Newton meter Miege. So hypercar's coming. Let's see how goody we can follow it. Bit of buck, because I can't see any spray, despite there should be a lot of water on the track. So I'm not sure if that is a build issue or if that's an issue from the Ligier. Probably find out in the replay tape. And this is also important, we need to give feedback to rFactor too, so that they can fix certain things. Hey Troll Turismo. No, there is no LMDH on this sim. It is a hypercar, it is our own category. Yeah, in the rear view mirrors, I can see the spray, but I can't see the spray from the car in the front. That's true. Let me see if that is indeed a bug. I can't drive like this though. Yes, Rock brought your G27 will just work perfect with rFactor 2. Okay, let's go into the night again. Whoops. And then we're gonna have a final looks. Oh, you know what? We choose box. Ow. Maybe from the replay tape, then we can see some shiny rain on the water, on the track. Let's see how this goes. Hey Kiryu, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone, by the way. A huge thank you to all your support all year. It's amazing. Oh, mi stupido idioto. I forgot to enable the live feed again. I'm sorry. Okay, just take that here. See how's this looky. Press R. I'd still say I don't see the wetness really on the ground, but either way, we're gonna look at it a little bit. So, what is the first resume? This Ligier, I need to get used to the right-hand side drive compared to the left-hand side drive of the Ore car. Both cars are sharing tires, both cars are sharing the engines, both cars are sharing the upgrades. So, full dive planes, half dive planes, no dive planes, and aero kit of Le Mans. They do share the gearbox settings as well. And what else do they share? Well, the standard, you know, brake system, fuel load, probably the way the service is going to be. That's what they all share. What is different on the car? So we already mentioned a few times the left-hand side drive compared to the right-hand side drive. They do not share the chassis. The chassis on the Ligier in general, I feel it is softer. The shocks the suspension gets from going over the curbs, from going over anti-cuts, from going over bumps is less violent than on the Oreca. That's what it just feels like. That means it's going to be easier to drive. It's not jumping around as bad. It's not oscillating as bad on the suspension, and mainly it's not getting upset so easily. And also it feels softer. It does not feel like every time you go over a big bump in the Oreca O2 and the entire car makes a bonk, and then you're like, ugh, now I've broken some splitter on it. And yes, that is a lot softer in the Ligier. Yes, Stroll Turismo, just looking at the dive planes, currently we got, I think, one of them. I will check the upgrade that I was running right now as soon as we leave the server, but with no dive planes this would be gone, and with full dive planes I think we would have had another dive plane right here. And Le Mans Aero package looks a lot different as well anyway. So despite it is softer overall, we already said that they not share the same suspension. They have a different chassis, and also by the looks from the front, they also have a different aerodynamical downforce generating philosophy on the bodywork. Therefore, there is also some difference in driving. I felt that the Ligier starts sliding and losing the rear performance a lot earlier than the Oreca O2. That could also be due to the bad setup, because we have not done any setup work whatsoever. And that will be interesting to see how this will be fixed with LMP2 balance of performance, because we will definitely need this. That actually takes it to the end of the Ligier. Would I recommend the car? Yes, I would, 100%. I think rFactor 2 and Studio 397 have made a good effort bringing the car out. Now it will be a big task to bring and line this up with the Oreca 07. That neither car is not like in GT3 we've seen a GT Pro has been a Corvette Pro kind of competition. That should not happen. That it is like a full Ligier or full Oreca kind of LMP2 style. Anyway, that brings us to the end for the LMP2 car. And now, last but not least, we're gonna have a look at the new Corvette C8.R GTE. Hey Mantas, yes, I'm going to do the next competition as well. The Nemesis, do you personally think the game should be more polished considering how many years development it's had? Riser is a small studio and seems to be way more busy with the dev work. Nemesis, it is difficult to compare rFactor 2 and Studio 397 with Riser Studios. I think they have different sizes, different philosophies, and different workloads. Remember, rFactor 2 has been originally designed by ISRI and then been taken over by Studio 397, and now they've just started to develop the sim. Also, I believe Riser with AMS, they got a lot more income from their base game, and rFactor 2 probably struggling a little bit of income. Hence, this is the second reason why I recommend buying the bundle. It's going to be a bargain for you, and it's going to be money for rFactor 2 to more investment. So, looking into the, oh dear, no, that was the wrong one. Here, that's where I need to click customize. Let's see what kind of, I think, Yannick, it was slower on the straights. It felt, it had a little bit more downforce though. Aero package was standard all dive planes, so I was sorry, standard no dive planes. And then you go upper and lower dive planes. So I believe, can I zoom in? Yes. We're gonna have a look at the dive planes real quickie. So no dive planes. F. Le Mans. F. Okay, I don't know why this doesn't update. It should update, I think. Anyway, that is something to look into the future as well. There are some bugs I'm gonna have to report on the LMP2 car, which is, and that is LMP2 Ligier. We're gonna do this live. JS spray and yeah, spray and wetness. It's actually just the dinghy. So before I go back to this, gonna click community, gonna go into the latest forum. That sends you to the forum now, just like on iRacing. Very nicely done. Technical and support, bug reports. So no one has put up a thread yet on this one. Am I not logged in? I'm not logged in. Sorry. So always given feedback because rFactor 2 will get into it and fix it. Post a new thread. So I now need my own stream. Oh, bear with me, guys. I'm gonna quickly go on with a Corvette real quick, but I just want to get this. Ligier LMP2 shows no spray from cockpit view of wet surface. Head. So the current stream that goes. So the current stream that goes. Gonna do this with a timestamp later. So gonna edit this. We did some racing in wet conditions at Spa while following another car. The wind screen had drops coming on it, but no spray was visible from the car driving ahead of us despite track was wet. Video with proof. TBR. Text. LMP2 Ligier bug. And we create the thread. Maybe people are gonna update this as well. I'm gonna update this later straight away. Always give feedback. This is important. And then I'd say we go back to our server. So Enduro Bundle release party, new DLC is the password. Before I click the password though, I want to get into the Chevy Corvette. This looks like a burst esports car, gonna take it, awesome. Okay, new DLC, everything written together, 6 digits. Feel free to join us, and we enter as a drive mode. So guys, now going to test the Corvette C8.R GTE car at Spa on our server and see how this car compares to other GTEs. I have to admit, I have not got the biggest experience in them GTE cars, but I'm gonna try to do my best to describe what I feel. Mark, what vertical field of view? I'm gonna put that here. Fourth setting is 30 degrees. Troll Turismo, they are not, probably not visual just yet. Also, Victor, 4 years developing a UI only to make it less user-friendly. Now it requires 5 to 6 clicks more where it was just 1 before. They also scrap features like lap time position inputs from the replay menu. You know what, Victor? If you put that down on the forum just like I did to give feedback, I'm very sure that we get this fixed. On the video today, that is about the new competition system, going to be seen the first time 16:15, so a good hour from now roughly. I will show you exactly how we did it. As a team, we just put down 2 or 3 hours, went through a lot of pieces of this new UI, came to kind of the same conclusion, but we're gonna put it out on the forum so the guys can get some feedback with it and start working. JJKHIL, hopefully they upgrade the graphics. I'm tired of playing Sims looking like PlayStation 2 games. rFactor 2 is very far away from that at the minute, I believe. So, again, taking up the fuel as much as we can on this GTE, 93 liters for the Corvette. Nothing to change on the gears, I believe. You can set a final. No, you can't. I think that's all fixed. Tires, just as usual, minimum pressure. Brakes already at 100%. Got no ABS needs to be set. Nothing you can set on the chassis apart from steering range. And then I believe everything else is just quite standard, despite those that are weird settings on the suspension. Anyway, we just drive. Aerodynamics, I'll take the P2 wing. JJ, they are working on it, trust me. It looks a lot better in the meanwhile. Already. So, seat position needs adjusting. Saving session settings would be a good addition. What do you mean by that, saving session settings? Load a grid and track settings without having to manually do it each time. You mean to load up a specific grid? Wow, look at the dash. I'm gonna drive in a very weird driving position just for the dash. I should probably use intermediate tires. The only rain tires available. Let's go. So, the sound definitely does not correlate to the Corvette C7 GT3. Sounds a lot different. Still in pit road. Hey Ricardo, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you. Yes, more juicy Bucky cars, more juicy Bucky competition system, more juicy Bucky user UI, but we're here for testing it and giving feedback so we can improve everything. Oh, lovely sound. Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that roar? Oh, it's just awesome. Kiwi43, thanks for the follow, appreciate your time. And if you guys also appreciate the stuff we do, I would mega appreciate if you hit up the follow button on Twitch. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give the video a thumbs up, make the community grow. So next time we enjoy even more people on our server. Oh, the sound is groovy. Also, I like the dashboard. It's full working. Tire pressures, tire temperature. Actually, seeing the tire pressures live for the first time is an interesting feature. We have brake bias that works. It just shows the bias on the rear though. Oh no, the bias doesn't work. Not sure what this bias means. Sounds like it's vacuuming the grease from the track. I appreciate the sound a lot. Yep, I think it could really much be the best looking dash on rFactor 2. Well, how does it drive? I don't know how a GTE is supposed to drive. It got a bit twitchy on the brakes because no ABS. It has traction control, but of course it is wet and the traction control setting probably not being set too high. Gonna fix this. Yeah, it was just very low. Now we have a little bit more traction control. Frohe Weihnachten, Heiko. Yeah, we're missing a little bit of high frequencies maybe on the sound, that's true. But the BMW M8 GTE just sounds the same kind of... dumb is the wrong word, isn't it? Wipers, please. So I don't know, again, I'm not sure if it's a track bug. To me it feels like there is no wetness to see on the track, despite there should be. Neither do I see a dry line. Well, maybe it's just not drying up yet. Mantas, have they announced that LMHC cars are gonna get taken away and getting replaced by the Cadillac? Oh, I like the driving of the GTE here. Actually, this car, probably you have to drift slide it as well. But, you know, we're on the standard setup and it feels like just drivable at first. If you guys want to join us, find the server called Enduro Bundle Release Party, everything written together, Enduro Bundle. Release Party written separately again with a dash. Brake. Nice, just made it in time. And then you guys can join either with a hypercar or with a DPi or with a LMP2 Ligier or with the Corvette GTE.
That was a 2:27.09.
Michi, do you think it could be the moment to start to think about possible rFactor 3 for the long term? Philippe Monnier, hello, and Kiryu. I can tell you that this will probably not happen in the next 2 or 3 years. They are still developing a lot of things in rFactor 2. They just now brought out a new competition system, just brought out a new UI, just brought out 3 new cars. I don't think anyone is really thinking about rFactor 3, and then what do you want to change with rFactor 3? Like, if you just rewrite the code and do a little bit and maybe use a different engine or whatever, you may still have the same bugs, you may still have the same issues. So I don't think rFactor 3 is an option at the minute. I do not think there is a technological reasoning to push for a new game, because compare rFactor 2 to rFactor 1, what is the differences? Dynamic streets or dynamic layouts, dynamic rubber, beside the X9, the X11 things, proper rain. It still is open moddable, but you know, the rFactor 2 engine is something new compared to rFactor 1. But rFactor 3 right now would not have anything new. I mean, imagine what they are working on the current title. They surely can't afford working on a new engine. So there you go. Hey Cliff. Yeah, massive FSR fan here. Merry Christmas to all of you. As rFactor 2 Santa has came early. No. Oh, I thought there was a car coming. Hey Tom Wop, how are you? Tom,
That was
I think
2:33.81.
from a marketing point of view, this just wouldn't hold up. If you release a new UI as rFactor 3, and right now it's still faulty, and even if it wasn't faulty, people would just be like, yeah, but it's just a rFactor 2 as a rebrand, and you would lose all the traction that's been generated before. That's been rFactor 2. And again, the main thing is rFactor 3 would need to somewhat be different and further developed. And with the current game engine just being the current game engine, there's no point in doing so. Headlights are now required. Copy. Put the headlights on. Now we're going to get dark again. Let's see how we enjoy the Corvette in the dark. Exactly. I think there would be a mega backflash if they did so. Okay, I now have serious issues to see. I think for you guys it's even more dark. For some reason the stream captures my game a lot less bright than it actually is. Maybe I got some transparency setting going on there. I'll have to look into this. I don't think Studio 397 would be unable to make it a successor, but they are obviously still trying to fix rFactor 2. And as long as this is not 100% finished, I wouldn't. If I would be Studio 397, I would not dare to think about an rFactor 3. I mean, remember what happened. They are still extremely lucky that rFactor 2 is still alive and actually is growing a lot. Remember, most of the games or sims that you pull out and flop, they die pretty quickly. And rFactor 2 was quite dead in between. It's still probably not the most used simulation and still lacks community compared to other titles, but there is still constant developing. and the community does see that. Now everyone is waiting for the new competition system, and that will bring new features, and that will maybe be a possibility to regain the traction. And then God knows what can be possible with rFactor 2 as it regains the traction. It's all about how the public community perceives it. El Nando, hey there! So yeah, we're on another Drift King car, the rear end now just becomes loosey, but I think, you know, this is just a standard rFactor 2 thing. So I think with a lot of GTEs around, there's not too much you can really F up with a GTE car. Just drives like the other GTE cars as much as I remember them. Drift slidiness. So actually, let's take the car into the pits, talk a little bit about it. There's not too much in a GTE to really talk about. Would I recommend it? I guess you know the answer. So 100%, because I think it's an awesome way to get into rFactor 2 in general. I mean, you know, it's just another endurance car that has been released, but I think people are gonna like it. I definitely I enjoyed this GTE. I enjoy the sound. I love that it doesn't have that weird drizzle from the anti-lag that the BMW features in the sounds. I'm just like, nah, not really. It didn't used to be a standard RF2 thing. Well, Alan, it currently is a standard RF2 thing. We are all trying to get rid of it. But yes. Anyway, looking from the external sounds, I like it. I like it very much. And gotta say, it looks gorgeous. It nearly looks like it reminds me on a McLaren, to be honest. Excuse me. What happened with RF2, or how long does the server goes? Server goes at least for another 36 minutes, and then I gonna leave it open for a little bit. And you guys can still test drive. I do like. Let me go back to and listen to the sound, how it went down through the rivage. That is a very real kind of sounding when it comes to applying the throttle again. Just that spluttering sound. It's just phenomenal. I think sound-wise they did a proper job on this one. Probably, as we already spoke about it, I think we're missing a little bit of the high frequencies in the sound. But I like it, really. How would I compare it to the other GTEs? I do not really know. I only drove the BMW GTE in Le Mans configuration, and this car is not in Le Mans configuration right now. So it's hard to compare. It drove fairly well though on the suspension, on the standard setup. It has a really nice looking dash that we can see here again. Kind of love that. But yeah, how does it really compare to it? It's really hard to tell for me, since I'm not a GTE driver usually. Doing some pirouettes. What did you think about the Caddy? We're gonna come back to the Caddy because I want to do more running with that car because I'm curious about it. But now talking about the Corvette, I mean, it's a GTE car. What else shall I say about it? I like the way it looks. I like the way it drove out of the box. It would need a proper setup for it to really be tested. It will be interesting how it fits in the existing GTE BOP between BMW, Ferrari, and Porsche. Also think there is another Corvette C8.R GTE, so it would be interesting how it compares to that. Sadly, it's the most difficult car for me, and I'm sorry to not give you the best of feedbacks on this one. But this is just basically how I see it. I appreciate the work of Studio 397 100%. Oh, this is just perfect when it goes down Rivage. Just feel it sounds so real. So that's gonna do it for the GTE, I believe. I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight whether the cars would be something for you. And hope that you have enjoyed it until here. And thank you very much for watching all. This will not be the end of the stream though. I'm not going to take out the DPi again. And I'm just gonna go in the hypercar configuration again. Because I think it's the most interesting thing to happen. Anyway, guys, if you do appreciate the stuff, and if you are keen about finding out on the competition system, then there's two things I can recommend you. The first one, today 16:15, is a live premiere on the YouTube channel on the new competition system. I did a race 4 hours ago, and you guys will be interested to see how this works. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you check out the live premiere. I'm actually going to put the link into this, bear with me. Then you can save this already for you, because where are we? I need to turn down the sound, otherwise I'm gonna get scared. Yes, so that is a premiere. Just get me the link. Here is the link. Note that down, 45 minutes from now. And why so serious? Because we are serious, but thank you very much. Seriously, thank you very much. Why so serious has followed. Thank you. Big time. Hey, the Big Dawn, how you doing? I do appreciate the new content. I like the new content, and for now I will also check the new content on the DPi again, because no, speaking about the new UI being not user friendly, I just made a mistake. I'm now loading Spa on my own. Okay, coming back to the topic though. Do I recommend this new GTE LMP2 and hypercar bundle? Yes, I do. For various reasons. First, the massive work of Studio 397 shall be rewarded. And getting the bundle is a bargain for you, and is a bargain for rFactor too. That said, I do believe the new hypercar will be enjoyable to race, as it has some speed, it has some trickiness. You know, I'm just rubbing my hands getting started with these cars and racing them. Okay, Spa's loaded in a couple of seconds, so I hope to be right back there immediately. Thank you, Victor. Big, massive shout out to Victor for posting the feedback on the forum. That's the only way where we can make sure it comes to the devs. Okay, not session settings. This is where I need to click it. And then we go back Cadillac DPi. I'm gonna customize that because I want to race the hypercar. configuration. And then I'm gonna join back onto the server, so select the car, new DLC, and I'm gonna drive the remaining 30 minutes. Sorry, excuse me. On the server then, with the hypercar. What do I think about it? I mean that the LMP2 car needs to be BOP'd with the Orica is a true fact. Yet though, I appreciate the way the LMP2 drives at hindsight. Obviously, always long run testing needs to be done. But I believe it is a good addition to rFactor 2. It just makes the endurance raceability and the endurance race experience a lot more interesting. I have a little bit of a doubt still. I love the LMP2 car for being the only car without a class. Same with the hypercar. I appreciated that. Now everything gets BOP'd, which, well, you know, brings diversity but also brings risks, as things may not be BOP'd very well, potentially. That said, I'm not accusing anyone of having a bad BOP, but you know. Okay, aerodynamics, I'm gonna put the P3, suspension, I need the front definitely stiff and the rear definitely soft. I'm gonna add some more backers, just some quick fixes so that I know the car is kinda drivable for me. Aero, we already did that. Chassis, get away from the gurney flap because we need kinda low downforce. Brakes, more this, less blanking. Brake bias is kinda alright. And on the gearing ratio, I think we can take shorter gears. Oof. I wonder whether those gears are official gearing. They look weird, very weird. And then, no, we don't just drive it. I think we still need inter tires. Headlights, we're gonna turn wipers on. They did the car right in terms of what exactly from your point of view? Yeah, I hope that a lot of feedback will come into the sim, whether on cars, whether on a competition system or anything else. This really needs to be done, and I hope it's gonna be done goody. Ah, there is a dry line now forming. Okay, take back everything I said. I just didn't see it was really wet. This dry line looks gorgeous though, looks amazing. Ooh. Yeah, I remember I need to brake a lot more early in those conditions. I enjoyed the Corvette as well, just, you know, not being a very good expert when it comes to GTE cars. I just hopped into it and could drive it fairly well. And it felt like a proper GTE indeed. So, being back now in the Cadillac, one thing that needs to be said is that the cornering is extremely poor compared to the other cars. Like, there is no front end whatsoever now. Mantas, for the time being, safety rating and performance rating will be aggregated and counted into one, because they want to check how their algorithm works. And therefore, in the beginning, no real rating will be used. That will come in the future and probably will be divided as a safety part, safety rating, and the other part as a performance ranking. But more to find out about that in the video we have scheduled for a live premiere in half an hour time here on the channel. You guys gonna see how this competition system works, and I'm actually gonna do the race afterwards, 5 PM. Gonna do the next competition race. Jesus Christ, that hypercar is fairly bad in those conditions. I'm not sure whether the inter tires are actually slicks. That's what it feels like. Let me see how this goes with the rain tires. Maybe there is a full list of stuff I need to do feedback on. So guys, and on this note, I can already say Merry Christmas to all of you, and a massive thank you everyone for sharing the time here on the stream, on the server. Throughout this entire year, it has been a crazy esports year. I would like to thank you ever so much for the support. And guys, if you're new to this channel and appreciate the stuff that we're doing, I would be absolutely glad and super mega happy if you do me a Christmas present by subscribing to the YouTube channel, following up on Twitch, and help me hitting 100% on our goals. We want to grow the channels. We want to grow the streaming, and therefore I definitely need your help, and I hope that you guys will do so. Carl Hackman, that's exactly the way to do it. Thank you very much for your support, for following up on Twitch. And even with the rain tires, there is still excessive understeer going on. Infinity V2, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you guys, you're doing an awesome job. Lovely support there, Esteban Muth. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, thank you guys. I mega appreciate that. And of course, if you want to support furthermore, there is possible ways to do so. You find links in the description of the channel or in the description of the video, either for direct donations or for becoming a member or a subscriber on the channel, becoming part of the Patreon program. But you know, that's not the stuff I really ask for. The only thing I can really ask you guys for is following up on Twitch and subscribing to the YouTube channel to help us growing the channel and enjoy sim racing all together. That's the main target, that's why we're here. The bounce big, thank you man. Sean, I guess that's you. Oh Jesus Christ, brakes, where are the brakes now? The car is fun to drive in dry conditions, but in the wet. Yeah, Carl Hackman, that's I absolutely agree with that. As I said, we're gonna have this live premiere on the competition system and the new UI in 30 minutes time, and I'm gonna do another competition race right after that, 5 PM. just to give it more love, to give it more feedback, to give more valuable data to Studio 397 and help them improve the system. 325.8 in the Ligier around Le Mans. That is qualifying or race condition. If it's qualifying, then it is just a few seconds slower than the Orica, isn't it? So we're currently driving the hypercar. It has a lot of power, but it feels like it lacks aero grip now. It just feels like completely different to what it was in the dry conditions. And now at this stage it's not long until we can put the dry tires on already again. Yeah, I am actually sure that I'm not on 70%. Oh, I'm braking super easy though, because I don't want to lock up the brakes. Wow, the sun occlusion, my goodness me. Infinity, I cannot really say how close it's going to be towards iRacing, but it's surely going to be a competition system that we are going to enjoy. There will be competitions and seasons being given out by Studio 397. I heard that leagues are somehow going to be introduced as well and included, so FSR I think is going to be partly considered in this competition system. So there's a lot of projects and stuff going on.
15.09.
You know, the only thing I can encourage you guys is test it, give feedback, and be patient. Especially being patient is an important thing. You know, the entire bashing on rFactor 2, like this is not working and well, that car's weird. You know, it's alright, it's all correct, it's all sort of justified, but at the end of the day we need to do it in the right manner. We need to give feedback to the RF2 guys so that they can develop and improve, and that's the only thing I wish you guys to bear in mind. Whenever you do morning, you rightly do so, but include feedback on the forums. You always ask us to grab a coffee at the start of the stream, yet you have not mentioned what kind of coffee you drink. Is it instant coffee, pre-ground coffee, or freshly ground coffee? It is a pre-ground coffee. Freshly, I do not have a machine to to melt the beans or to powder them, so I buy powdered coffee and I put it into a kind of espresso brewing machine with 15 bar, and then I'm gonna do 3/3 milk, 3/3 coffee, 3/4 coffee and 1/4 milk, and then I'm gonna enjoy it. Sometimes I also get fluffy milk foam and then get coffee on it. So that is my coffee drinking. Yeah, Carl, there's a hypercar setting available, as we are now deep into the night. This car needs fixing on the setup, I believe.
The lap was a 2:20.43.
Well, Infinity, I can tell you then you probably need to be a little bit more patient, because accessibility with the new UI needs to be improved. But once that is done, I believe you will have a lot of fun. I nearly kept it. Oh, I'm getting sick. How does it feel to be one of the 2 LMHC championship cars ever? Honestly, I do. Ah, there is the issue. Different tire pressures. Let's try the intermediate again, and probably it will drive a lot better. Actually, Montes, I think I will going to like it. Potentially needs a good setup, of course. We will have now just applied the standard rFactor 2 hacks minimum tire pressures. Yeah, Troll Turismo, Christmas morning coffee. The first thing I do in the morning is get a noise coffee, and I love that. Detach rear ARB. Oh, yeah, I can't do that mid-drive. That is a good idea. You can't detach it. You can just put it pretty low. I'm just gonna put it a little lower than the front. So, final time in the night circle. We're on the intermediate tires now. I think I'm gonna do a box later on for softs. As soon as daylight comes again, we have 13 minutes left in the session, so we make it up until 2 PM. On the daylight, gonna do a live pit stop, so already setting this up. Soft tires and soft tires. And then at the end of the stream, we're gonna enjoy a little bit of night pictures again. And that's gonna do it for our stream then about the new cars. I have recorded all 3 cars and sequences separately. So if you're late and you're like, I missed how the Ligier felt, no worries, I got you covered. I will upload all the 3 sequences over the Christmas days. The great Bingers, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate your support. So I will finish those 3 clips and upload them to YouTube over the Christmas days and slightly afterwards. So we will soon have my thoughts about every of the systems or every of the cars separately in a known clip, roughly 20 to 35 minutes. And of course you can always rewatch the entire stream. So those intermediate tires do not feel good at all. Wow, I just kept it. Yeah, the front was still on the dry line, whereas the rear slipped off into the wet. Just gonna finish that lap, then go box and try soft tires. Brakes are poor. The more I drive it, the more I feel it. But wow, it is a drifting car. Damn it. It drifts a fair lot. So, box.
That was a 2:15.99.
No, Mantas, not at all. That LMP1 car we drove back then, that had proper downforce. Brakes are bad. Maybe I'm using them the wrong way too, or maybe they are cold from running too much cooling. Then I already locked them down Rivage and I'm pretty limited on them. So it's already getting dawn there. Daylight comes back, which will enable us to put down the soft tires on the car and follow the dry line, and then surely improve the 215 and see whether we've reached already the cutoff. It's quite easy to say what this lap would be. See you there, Mantas. Yeah, I guess the car has drum brakes indeed. I mean, you can see glowing discs. Oh dear. Ooh, I went off bad. So 1 point. Ow, ow, ow. Ah, sunglasses, FFS. Lap time would have been a 2:13.5. So box. So that is the brake system. Yeah, classic. How do we call this? Ceramic or steel brakes. So not very goody. Basically a GT3 car on steroids with a GT3 brake system. Uh-oh, issues. So 30 seconds tire swap. Let's see how the soft tire works on the dump track. Well, that is only a question you can answer yourself by testing the car. Anyway, guys, I appreciate very much that you are here. We have the remaining 6 minutes in the session. I'm gonna do one quick lap and then we're gonna have a little look at night shots from the laps we just drove. And that's gonna do it for this one then. I appreciate very much that you guys were here so frequently and in such huge numbers. I appreciate and thank you all the new followers, all the new subscribers on the channels. This is a pretty big effort from you guys and mega support. Can only say big thank you, big massive thank you, as we keep saying this all the time. And then I hope to see you back on the live premiere for the new competition system and the new UI. We have a little brief look into the stuff of new UI, then gonna do one competition race. And basically you see me doing the first steps with the system. So that's going to be interesting for you, that's for sure. Thank you, the Nemesis. So as long as you stay on the dry line, this is hugely faster. This dry tire is immensely quick. But once you get off to the wet line, yeah, you did. Yes, exactly. Endurance Bundle 2 is the new cars. If you got the other cars already, if you don't have them all together, you may want to get Endurance Bundle 1 and 2. 3 cars, Endurance Bundle 2 for €9 at the minute. It's a big bargain. Brought by Jamie. Hey there. Yes, you can join this Endurance Bundle, all written together. Endurance Bundle and then Release Party. Password is new DLC. Let's go up Rouge. Ah, dead. Yeah, touch the wet and you're dead. Okay, but I just take away from it. We're 3 or 4 tenths ahead. Just want to see how this would improve our lap time. So 6.2 seconds. 4.5. Well, okay, we can even make this PB despite the spin. So amazingly quick the car's on those soft tires already. That means the wet tires needs fixing. I'm gonna put that back to rFactor too. I mean, yes, we do have a dry line here, but this should still be kind of intermediate condition. But despite sliding off into the wetness with the dry tires, there is nearly more grip in general in the turn still. Just look how quick you can make the timer go towards your direction. And another spin. Anyway, as I said, that's gonna do it. That's gonna take it for the for our stream, and we're gonna look at some fancy night shots again with this car. So, and that's what I really gotta say. rFactor 2 in the night looks fucking awesome. I do love the details that we can see here. And we're not full max settings yet. Maybe it would be nice if there would be a little bit more lighting around the track, but probably it is what it is. So you see the glowing brake disc there on the front. It's just awesome. Awesome detail there. More brake glowing there. That could be a little bit more dynamic, to be honest. It was like just on off. It's awesome, isn't it? So goody to see. Dead. Sorry. Oh yeah, that was the thing where I just like, getting sick of the spinning. Emily, thank you. O'Callum, thank you very much. I have already tried them and I know that they are quicker. But session is done. We have finished the session. So guys, thank you very much for being here. As I already told you, we're going to be live in an hour with another competition race, but mainly we're gonna be even more live with the new, and I'm gonna quickly just go off the server and exit the game so that you guys see what I mean. We're going to have the live premiere of the new competition system. So that happens, like the video, in 12 minutes time, and we're gonna find out about the new competition system, about the new UI. I can resend the link to this real quick into the chat. Just click on it and enjoy the new rFactor 2 competition system. We're gonna have a look into the things. We have had a race in that Tattoos Winter Series, and I'm even going to either record another video or just do another stream on this one, and hope that you then get a little bit more accessibility into the game, into the competition system. And yeah, guys, beyond that, once again, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you all for the big support. I hope you have a really nice Christmas celebration, despite all issues with Corona at the minute. I hope you stay safe. I hope your family stays safe. Please, if you have Corona rules given by the government, as annoying it may be, try to adhere to them. It's surely for the better for all of us. Despite Corona, everything. Merry Christmas to you and your entire family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and still try to enjoy your time and share it with your loved ones, because in these days, nothing more than all time together is healing. And yeah, then I hope we see each other soon for more streams, and hope you've enjoyed this one. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you then next time. Goodbye.